no bots this time. And now we're actually starting. So again, welcome to group phase 2 match group stage phase 2 match 2 of the Dota Underlords Championship number 4. And again, we have a pretty good match on our hands. We have Grunt and we have Snowfay and we have Mighty Dunk in this game, which is gonna be interesting to see. I've been told that Steven or Thick Anime Thighs, or whatever you want to call him, is someone to also look out for. So I will be keeping an eye on those 4 core players. Of course, we do not leave out Mr. Nirvana. Is that supposed to be Nirvana or just Nevern? I'll just call him NR. And then we have Tempest G1. Of course, also in the game, we will be seeing how they all, how their strategies will work out. 3 of them have gone for the Tusk early on, and oh, I'm just looking for the button. Open and close the shop. I forgot what it was. Oh, that's a shame. Well, I'll figure it out. Anyways, as we can see here, looks like NRVN has a pretty good start. Starts with a troll and a witch doctor and the troll buff is what I meant to say. I keep referring to Batrider as a troll for some reason. But yeah. So starting off with the Batrider and witch doctor, the solid start here. I would much prefer the Batrider over the Shadow Shaman, especially if you want the troll buff early. Of course, if he gets the Shadow Shaman early, that'd be also fantastic. But then he opts to swap out of the troll buff completely for 2 razors and a tusk, which is quite interesting to see how he deals with that. He did pick up a Luna. Maybe that Luna would have been super effective, especially with the troll buff active, but he opts against it. And he instead will go for 3 1-stars, Razor, Tusk, and Venomancer for this round. Meanwhile, Grunt has a full warrior build, or sorry, a full warrior strategy up and running. Thick Anime Thighs will be riding on that 2-star bounty hunter to just sail him through this early game stage. And then we have 3 other beast strats. Snowf, Tempest G1, and Mighty Duck will have that the beast buff to rely on. Of course, Tempest G1 actually gets the taunt item, which means he essentially has another unit in this match this early. But of course, Grunt manages to find 2 Timber Saws round 3, I believe, and so it looks like he will be transforming to a Scrappy strat, possibly with a Deadeye. True Strike Deadeye is I wouldn't say the my favorite ace in the game, but you know, it is what it is. So it looks like he will be fighting Tempest G1, and will be interesting to see how his team will match up against the taunt, and it looks like it doesn't match up very well, as the taunt actually catches the Bloodseeker immediately, and the Bloodseeker trying to get some heals off, but the taunt, this is what I meant by having that free dummy, just basically making sure that Bloodseeker doesn't get any damage done. Instead, it completely absorbs all his damage. It does have 1000 HP and it is quite strong. I would say it's much stronger than Barricades, well, it does quite a lot more than Barricades, in my opinion. I think if they want to do any changes, I think dummy should be adjusted, or maybe Barricades should be improved somewhat, because again, while everybody's just getting the strats sorted, I honestly I feel like the Barricades is just not effective enough, and we will see some engagement here. Sniper gets completely obliterated by Grunt's bounty hunter. And it looks like Mighty Duck will get cleared out here very quickly, as he has no answer to Shadow Fiend Requiem, plus that bounty hunter just stabbing everything in the back. But yeah, back to the discussion between the taunt and Barricades. Now, they're both tier 2 items, which means theoretically they should be just as good as the other during their situations. But I find myself picking up the taunt way more often than the barricades. Like if I have the choice between the taunt and the barricades, I would most definitely pick up the taunt over the barricades. It's just the barricades are 500 HP with 10 armor, I think, and the dummy has 1000 HP. Now, even accounting for effective HP, the barricades uh the barricades don't do as much as a single taunt, especially since you're forced to attack the taunt, while the barricades deflect ranged attacks and are an obstruction, which is uh, just because there's only two of them, it doesn't actually do that much, and it looks like Snowfay will be cleaning this out very well with a warrior strat behind a beast buff, especially with a 2-star tusk. We'll just clear this all out. The bounty hunter gets punched straight in the air. Shuriken toss actually gonna land on the tusk, and maybe Snow not gonna sneak a win on this one. Hook? No, it's not gonna be enough HP. Grunt will sneak that win right under Snow's nose. Alright, we'll be following the leader of the current rounds, and it looks like it's gonna be Tempest G1, and we will be following how he's gonna operate his team. It looks like his primary plan is to use the taunt as effective as possible and possibly transition into some shenanigans with the Bloodbounds maybe, or just having knights or just troll buffs. It's quite interesting. You can see how he's arranging his units down here at the bottom. It's how he prioritizes what units to keep and what not to keep. Essentially, Shadow Shaman being the least likely to keep, and then Shadow Fiend almost the definite to keep, especially with Witch Doctor here. So this is how I arrange my units as well whenever I'm thinking about what to do. But it looks like Mighty Duck will actually clean him up very easily with his 2-star army of units. That's pretty scary. But yeah, essentially, you can tell how players operate their builds by something like this. Essentially, you know, least likely to most likely, and it looks like I've never actually seen this before. It looks like G1 has decided to place all of his units on the board and then decide what he wants to do. He does have only 20 seconds, so it's a massive risky play. I don't think anybody else is doing this at the moment. No, they are not. This is quite the gamble, and it looks like he will settle on pocketing the mages for now. He'll keep the free reroll, and yeah, it looks like that'll be it for shopping. We will see if he actually wins this round. He is against NRV. We will see if there is anything. If you know who wins this round. Looks like Draw Ranger will be cleaning up the back line, but it's not going to be enough, as of course Tusk, much tankier, much more DPS than a Draw Ranger. It looks like, I believe, yeah, against NR's only 2-star, excuse me, is the Drow. So unfortunately, DPS and any damage output is just simply not enough. But yeah, it looks like he will be going for scrappy builds, or at least just putting the scrappies on the board. This is by far the most interesting strategy I've ever seen from a player. He's dropping units on the board, then deciding what to pick up, then selling what he didn't want from the previous round, and then continuing the search. It's quite interesting. It's like I say this in the best way possible, but it's like scavenging, like scavenge, like he's scavenging the corpses of all the strategies that haven't been picked up yet, and he's just like looking to see if he can mangle something up. It's quite interesting actually. Unfortunately, Snow has an entire 2-star crew. Tiny unfortunately still 1-star, but it will not be enough, as of course Tiny can obviously toss the dummy as well, but that won't be necessary. That's a solid 9 damage, round 9. Even without the +2-star damage, he does quite a lot of damage. And it's you know, it's surprising, and it looks like he will continue to do this. It's very interesting, but we will have to follow Snowf here, as of course. Wish him the best of luck, but you know, this is I would say this is the time for the top leaderboard players to shine, and maybe they won't shine later in the game, so you gotta give them the opportunity. And speaking of which, Snow picks up an Arc Warden round 10. That's delicious. That is, for lack of a better term, scrumptious, as he gets Alchemist and Arc Warden actually from the shop. And give me a second while we fight the neutrals, as I just check the hotkey. Oh, it's spacebar. Right, there we go. So as we can see, obviously he gets a 4-star immediately off the bat with the Alchemist and the Arc Warden in the back pocket. You'll be curious to see what he intends to do with this lineup. Of course, he already has Warriors, and he also got the Beast buff. It's quite interesting how he's clinging on to that Beast buff post round 10, especially with a Tidehunter pickup. This is... Man, that is one crazy pickup. He could obviously just drop the Pudge, put the Tidehunter down if he really wanted to. He does sell the Tiny, which is perfectly understandable. He will not be purchasing. It seems he will be waiting for the next round. He sells Alchemist and Arc Warden. This is he's the Lord player. I'm sure he has something up his sleeve, but that's quite interesting. He just sells Arc Warden and Alchemist like that. I would, if I was in his shoes, obviously I would just keep them there, pocket them for now, as they can potentially transition into much stronger strats in the late game. But it looks like he will be committing temporarily to the Beast strat. He will pick up Lycan and Tidehunter, so it looks like he will not be opting for any Arc Warden builds, nor any Warlock builds containing Alchemist. Or maybe he just sold it for the extra gold, especially for just to keep up with the economy, especially with every other player in the game right now. If he if he did not have an economy, he would simply just essentially just lose all of his money, or rather, just not keep up with the net worth gain of everybody else. But he will be fighting an RVN. Snowf is going to try to see if he can clear this out. And RVN has quite a lot of 1-stars. And in fact, he actually has an Arc Warden. So maybe this is the reason why he didn't want to pick up the Arc Warden. Seeing multiple Arc Wardens already may have opted him out of it. It looks like he will be cleaning that team up swiftly, though. And RVN will be taking about 11 damage. If I can do math correctly, that's 11 damage in total. Was that 11 damage? I didn't see. That was my bad. But that was a lot of damage, bottom line. And it's quite... Ooh, he gets Dragonite. There is already a Shadow Fiend player on the board, so maybe Shadow Fiend is not the best idea. But the Dragonite, now that's a top tier monster. Of course, he'd much rather win a round and then pick up the Dragonite, because he's only 1 gold away from doing so. But I doubt he's gonna pass the Dragonite, especially in the early game. Breathe Fire is just as strong as a lot of the 2-star units' abilities, and we will see how this fight interacts. It looks like Tempest G1 does not put up much of a fight, unfortunately. With the same build outline as an RVN, I kind of thought there would be, yeah, I thought that was the same guy, but no. NRVN and Tempest just have similar builds. It seems with a Lycan and with the Venomancer, but it looks like NRVN will be transitioning out into just undead warlocks, I guess. But Snowf is actually going to commit into the Beast buff, which is not... I wouldn't say it's a bad idea. I think it's a solid. I honestly do think it's a solid idea. If he gets a Sand King, this strategy should be solid for quite a while. Even sneak in a win if there are no aces that are present later in the game. It looks like He will be facing against Grunt, who was committed into the scrappy build. Unfortunately, there's also another player who went a scrappy build, so we will see who will prevail in that aspect. However, it looks like more. It looks like for now he will be wiped out by Grunt's. By Snowf's team, who has a 2-star lone druid. I completely forgot about the druid buff. That's actually devastating, having a 2-star lone druid this early in the game. Uh, is pretty strong. I would say. It's quite interesting to see that this his base lineup is holding up for a while. I think it's because he managed to obtain enough beasts to make this strategy relevant for now, at least. I'm quite curious why he. Well, look, the blink is instant, if I remember correctly. So there's no chance that the blink user gets stuck in the corner. I tend to see that with assassins, where if you blade them in a corner, they get stuck and they just end up in a massive disaster. Looks like Pudge will just get eaten alive here. Actually, no, he gets the hook off just before he dies. In fact, he doesn't die at all. Janders is the one who dies. And yeah, that's a pretty solid neutral round. And let's check the board. So as we can see here, NRVN is gonna go for that solid Warlock Heartless build. Tempest G1 going for that Beast Heartless Warlock, essentially in between what Snowf is doing and what NRVN is doing. Grunt is going for that Scrappy builds, Scrappy Assassins actually, and Thick Anime Thighs will also be doing the same, which is gonna be scary, I would say, for both of them, as it will definitely be a race to see who has the better Scrappy build by the end of this match. Mighty Duck with the 3-star Enchantress, unfortunately, has no access to any other druids in the game. He does have a Treant Protector. He will be putting that down, but we will see if that is a functioning member of his team, or he will be getting rid of that. Also, let's talk about the HPs for a little bit here, as NRVN has 54 HP and Tempest G1 with 57, Grunt with 59, especially around 16. That's pretty scary, being that low at round 16. I mean, like, I guess, yes, in between round 10s to 20, the damage increases. The damage increases more so than the first 10 rounds, but the measure in which they're losing is just devastating. NRVN is at 39 HP. It's surprising to just see someone that low this early in the game. I mean, maybe she's just unfortunate. He does have a Heartless team. We will keep track of him, as he is currently, I believe, 17 HP below lethal. If he does go lethal, we will unfortunately have our 6th placer, although I'm sure he wouldn't want that. Blink Dagger on the Witch Doctor. We will just follow him for a bit. Unfortunately, he actually goes against Snowf here. We will see if his team will be able to prevail. Snowf did actually put down a Draw Ranger. Draw Ranger is not the best unit in the game, I would say, especially as an extra unit to put down. She is kind of not useless. I think she put him down for the Heartless buff, but it's not going to be enough, actually. And RVN's going to maybe take this win. As doomed, the Tusk is doomed. The Plague Ward is not going to do enough. Definitely not. As Lycan 2-star will just eat that one alive. And NRVN stays in the game. Deal some damage to Snowf. But I'm kind of concerned. He dropped the 39 HP by round 16, I believe. Was the round before this. And it's quite curious what his build is. His build is complete Heartless, where essentially he just he intends to just go Heartless, I guess, with Arc Warden as his main damage dealer, but he doesn't have any damage dealing item, which is the concern he probably has for himself. And Mighty Duck manages to pick up a 3-star Treant Protector because of the Druid buff. The taunt actually gonna distract all of the front line for NRVN for a minute. The boat gonna come in, but there's a level 1 boat that doesn't really do anything. The Treant Protector getting low, but the Leech Seed at level 3 just regenerating him up to full. No Dota or Stool for NRVN, so there will be nothing to stop that. He has Warlocks anyway, so he wouldn't want that. And Mighty Duck will be dealing some severe damage to NRVN, and I believe he will be dropping to lethal range. No, he will not. He will stay just above the lethal range by 4 HP. Tempest actually drops with him to 27, also in lethal, almost in lethal range by 5 HP, and it's scary. It's definitely scary, and they will be trying to make it to round 20, which is essentially after this round. And the problem with that is the the massive power gap at the moment, as currently Snowf is dominating. Yes, NRVN did beat him, but there are also four other players in this game. He will be going against Tempest G1 here. The taunt actually picks up the Kunkka, but the Kunkka is way too tanky. He's gonna be fine. The Witch Doctor blinks in, but does not get anything done properly. I don't think so, as Tempest G1's team gonna try and clear out all of these units, but the Warriors, they're really tanky. Walrus Punch gonna take out the Kunkka. The Doom 2-star actually tanking and absorbing all of the Arc Warden damage, and NRVN will not be able to kill him off and just reduce the damage by 2 stars. But no, that'll be a hefty amount of damage. 8 damage, and now NRVN will be fighting for his life at lethal range. Meanwhile, Tempest G1, who won that fight, will stay above it. He will still guarantee himself at least an extra round. Tempest, that is, will have that failsafe of at least being above theoretical lethal. Meanwhile, NRVN is definitely not above theoretical lethal. But it is quite curious. He's still saying at 50 HP. Of course, it's a neutral round, but I'm curious as to what he thinks is gonna be his outs. What could he possibly roll as an out to this to his current predicament? Of course, I'm not saying he's gonna lose, but we've seen insane comebacks before. But it's curious. His team is quite the mishmash, and maybe if he gets a good item, he can just buy himself some time. Maybe steal a round from a player, but I don't think there's enough damage. The Arc Warden is his main DPS, I believe. No, it's actually Kunkka and Witch Doctor. I would say that's even worse, considering that the entire point is that Arc Warden is your DPS, and he didn't even get DPS. In fact, he gets another Aegis. I'm not sure if I agree with that. I mean, that means he's technically out of theoretical lethal. He's now suddenly he suddenly has 2 extra life bars of theoretical lethal, but that's still not gonna be enough, as his team is just not as effective. We're gonna see it against Snowf here. Will it be as effective or will it not? Doom gonna go on the Pudge. Unfortunately, the weakest link on his team, but will it be enough? Actually, Snowf not doing quite enough damage. 4 Arc Wardens firing bullets at the Enchantress. Enchantress is gonna go down. The Plague Warden's gonna get spit out. Drow Ranger is still probably the weakest link on this team, and Snowf faces his Kryptonite again. Actually, this is the second time NRVN has beaten Snowf, and I believe he's the only one who has beaten Snowf at the moment, which means he's either doing something right or doing something just to beat Snowf. And I'm not saying he's here to counter Snowf. I'm sort of more referring to the fact that Snowf's team looks like cannot beat NRVN's, possibly because of the formation. Maybe the formation has a lasting effect on his current position. Maybe this wider gap will help a lot of things. It looks like he will be fighting the assassin player Grunt with the scrappy lineup. We will see if this will get a win. Hook lands on the Doom target, but it doesn't really matter. The boat gonna land on the Alchemist. He does get Acid Spray off first, so it's perfectly fine. Alchemist gonna blink forward. He's gonna just die. Unfortunately, Waveform actually gonna connect on all of those Arc Wardens, and they're all just gonna pop as they're all 1-star. And Grunt will take that win and will deal a significant amount of damage. NRVN is on guaranteed lethal, I would say, at 10 HP. I believe that if he does lose, if at any point he does take damage, I do believe he will be losing one of those Aegises, but he's already dropped to 0. I believe. I think he forgot that he had 2 Aegises, because he could theoretically still hang on to those Aegises. Agi? I don't know. I don't know the plural of an Aegis. Aegises. Um. Anyways, he is looking for a tier 3 witch doctor. Although again, I don't think that's an out. That'll be nice, but I don't think it's an out for him at this point. He will be going against Tempest G1, who hasn't lost a fight in quite a while. It looks like Tempest G1. We will see if he will be the first one to grab one of NRVN's Aegises. Both gonna land on the Necrophos and 2 Arc Wardens. Arc Warden gonna go. So the Doom gonna go on the fake Arc Warden, but the Taunt gonna tank all of that damage for quite a while. The Kunkka gonna go down. Necrophos still standing, but it's not gonna be enough. Necrophos on the opposing team. Yes, he's a 1-star, but that's quite enough as the Venomancer also applying the Warlock buff, making sure that the Necrophos and the 2 Arc Wardens self-sustain correctly and properly. And that'll be another 8 damage. And RVN still hasn't popped a single Aegis. Which is quite surprising because I did think he was in theoretical lethal. Well, he was in theoretical lethal, but he's not taking enough damage to lose those Aegis. I think he much rather would have had more HP than lose, or rather, more HP than keeping an Aegis. But he did try to reroll. I'm not sure what his outs are. He just has a random Beastmaster on the board. For DPS, I guess, the Blink Witch Doctor lands straight in between 2 assassins. The Slark gonna get bashed. The Moat gonna probably stun and eliminate that Slark, but it's not gonna matter. The PA still doing some damage. The Scrappy's still functioning. The Arc Warden 2-star gonna clean up the front line, who was trying to push forward against the Scrappy lineup. The Scrappy lineup's just too tanky. Necrophos gonna be the last one to die. That'll be the first Aegis down for NRVN. And NRVN looking for a miracle here, as currently his composition and his positioning, in my opinion, look very lost. His positioning, maybe it's effective. I just don't see his outs at this point. Maybe a tier 3 Witch Doctor does do something here by some miracle. Maybe if you move the Lycan forward. Maybe if you just push forward his melee units. I think them being in the front line is much more effective than sitting in the back. But again, this is quite curious as to how he's gonna win this, or just at least stay alive long enough to not be bottom, as he is currently looking that route, as again his build looks lost, like just genuinely lost. I'm not sure what he wants to do with his build. Meanwhile, everybody else, it looks like Mighty Duck takes the lead here from Snow with a similar build to Snow, except he has an Arc Warden and Snow does not. In fact, Snow had that drought, but he has gotten rid of it. It looks like Mighty Duck and Snow is looking at 2 different builds with similar outcomes, I would say. One a beast warlock sort of pseudo thing. Just a mix of solid alliances, and of course the meta not know is all about hybrid builds. I've been told this by a friend of mine, and just from what I've seen so far from the Lord games, is that they play 2 hybrid. They play as hybrid strategies. Witch Doctor gonna finally get 3-starred by NRVN. Let's see if all that effort will finally bear fruit for him here, as I will continue discussing the other builds after this match, as he is again going against Grunt, the other scrappy build. Screen of Pain gonna do some damage. The Boat gonna stun everybody. Doom on the Alchemist before he gets anything off. The Bounty Hunter 3-star is a 3-star, but it's a Bounty Hunter. Waveform gonna connect, but it's not enough damage. Lycan, it's very strong, especially with the Witch Doctor, who's still not dead, and he's been throwing casks the entire time. And that Tombstone actually doing some solid work, as the zombies make sure that the surviving heroes are kept safe, as the zombies frontline for them. Well played by NRVN. Drops Grunt quite low here into perfect lethal range. He's exactly 22. We will see if he will stay that way. Meanwhile, Mighty Duck and Snowf sharing looks like, I mean, currently from their position, it looks like they're gonna be the top two here. However, you can never count anybody out. Tempest G1 and Thick Anime Thighs still looking for that build. Speaking of which, Mighty Duck will be against NRVN here. NRVN still has one Aegis. That one Aegis could still change the game. The Kunkka actually blinks into the mass of units of Mighty Duck, gets that boat off, but the boat does quite subpar damage. The Arc Warden of Mighty Duck, sorry, not Mighty Duck, and RVN gets actually hooked in. Necrophos going to try and heal everything up the zombies, trying to do some work here. The cast going to come out here. Maybe the Arc Warden dying will give them a zombie. No, it will not, because that was the clone. The clone doesn't summon any zombies. The Necrophos gonna go down. The Tombstone is already dead. And then Witch Doctor is gonna go down, and that's gonna be Aegis number 2 for NRBN gone. And we will be seeing if he will survive another round. And actually, Steven, aka Thick Anime Thighs, goes down first with his scrappy assassin builds, and that means Grunt is the only sole scrappy build still standing. I believe Thick Anime Thighs was facing Mighty Duck or Snowf, as they're still both on their win streaks. I believe Mighty Duck and Snowf are just two examples of an immovable object and an impossible force, or an unstoppable force. I forget how that phrasing goes, but it looks like NRVN will be fighting a clone of Snowf, which is the worst. As even if he wins this, as I believe Snowf has only lost to NRVN at this point in time. So even if he wins this one, he will not be dealing damage to Snowf. However, it doesn't look like he's winning. Actually, he is. He's winning super hard against Snowf, and Snowf just collapses. His team just gets collapsed inwards by NRVN. And again, NRVN's team actually deals with Snowf very well. Grunt actually also beats Snowf, and it looks like Snowf and Mighty Duck have bled after being in the top for so long. I believe Tempest G1 also dealt with Mighty Duck very swiftly. And it looks like we are seeing the formation of a new era in the late game here, as NRVN still fighting for his life, still without any economy. I believe this Tombstone is actually a pretty solid out for him, as the second row of zombies actually really buying him some time. But will it be enough? He will be against Mighty Duck, which is the other force that is similar to Snowf's. The boat actually going to land to all of the forces of Mighty Duck, but will that be enough? Mighty Duck hooks in his Arc Warden. His Arc Warden is also hooked in by the same force. ForceF going to come out on the Punch. Punch going to get pulled out. The Bear going to try and do some damage to Lycan. Actually fighting 1v2 against the Slaughter and the Alchemist. Alchemist going to pour down Acid Spray though. Going to heal up to full. He's going to go down, but the Lone Druid's still alive. Necrophil is still alive. The Bear's still alive. The Root not going to need it. Not going to be needed, and the Root's going to end there right at the last second. And unfortunately, NRVN will be going down. He will be going down for fourth though, as I believe Tempest G1 lost to Snowf just before him. So luckily, NRVN will not be going home empty-handed. Number 4 is still pretty solid. Maybe if the game is top 3. Maybe, unfortunately, he was too close, but we will see. Of course, after the standings, I will be making sure to double-check what happens or what goes down. Meanwhile, Grunt still fighting for his life here. Again, as I was referring, it looks like Mighty Duck and Snowf will be the head-to-head finals here, but again, you never count out the underdog. Grunt still has a chance, and we will take a look one last time at their strategy. It looks like Snowf has the holy duo. The holy duopoly of Enigma and Disruptor for his warlocks and his shamans, which is quite strong. Meanwhile, Mighty Duck does not have any aces to his name, so it looks like Snowf will have the advantage in terms of ability and rarity. With again the duopoly of Enigma and Disruptor. I was referred to. There's I would say like there's the holy quadra, which is Troll, Enigma, Medusa, and Disruptor. And I always refer to Disruptor as the legs and Enigma as the body. So so it looks again Snowf has the legs and the body. It looks like Mighty Duck actually gets the arms of the Quadra, aka Troll Warlord. Unfortunately, he does not have a troll in his build, so he has to sell it. He does not fit in his composition at all, and that's rough. Grunt, meanwhile, gets he has 4 3-star units. Unfortunately, no Tinker in his pool. He never found Tinker, which is kind of really bad, especially for a Scrappy Dome. But will it be fine? Mighty Duck gonna face him with the same amount of 3-stars, especially since the bear counts as well. Waveform gonna be used twice here. And oh my god, the burst damage from all of these nukes and all of these units exploding. The Scream of Pain also doing so much damage at 3-star. And wow, Mighty Duck actually gets cleaned up by Grunt. And again, this is why you don't count out the underdog. Snowf, unfortunately disconnected actually. I'm wondering what the problem is. I think his mobile phone just died. As he was playing on mobile, I'm really hoping he doesn't just lose like that, as he does have quite the solid upper hand. Um, but yeah, if his phone just died, you can't really help that. Uh, Grunt looks like we'll stop at 4 scrappies. Of course, he does not have the space nor the economy to gain another level. He will be against Snowf here. It will be quite a shame if Snowf actually wins this one, as he is currently disconnected. The currently Bounty Hunter gonna eliminate the backline here. Actually, no, he doesn't go for the Necrophos. Necrophos is so low, but he's still alive. The heal pulse is gonna keep him alive. The boat gonna come out again. Refresher's Orb, or sorry, the Braces of Desperation gonna actually pop there. Doom gonna come out again. A double Doom comes out on the Clockwork and on the Queen of Pain, which means Queen of Pain will not be able to get her song off, and Clockwork will not explode. And therefore, Snowf actually gets a good clean run on Grunt, and is Grunt eliminated? No, he's at 4 HP. But Snowf gets the good clean off, and it looks. We will check in Snowf's items for a bit. Sorry. And it looks like he did have 1 Bracer of Restoration, but how did that second Doom get off? I think just enough time passed, I guess. Looks like Tidehunter will be getting the Bracer of Desperation instead. He does have that magic resistance, not that it really matters. There are no magic built in the game. Meanwhile, Mighty Duck still without his own ace. We will see if that will be fine for him, as Grunt, in my opinion, has a better solid chance of beating Snowf at this point, as we will be watching Grunt's matchup here against Mighty Duck. We will see if Mighty Duck actually does defeat Grunt here, or if Grunt will be eliminated and we will have the head-to-head versus Mighty Duck and Snowf. Or if Snowf beats Mighty Duck, that will be the end of the match, but it doesn't look like it will be, as Mighty Duck is defeated by Grunt, which is bad omens for Mighty Duck if Mighty Duck loses against Snowf here. And Snowf, oh my god, his power is overwhelming against the wait, no, sorry, that was Mighty Duck beating Snowf. Or no, that was Mighty Duck losing to Snowf. I apologize, the camera is weird. And it looks like Snowf is currently the sole leader with the most HPs. Again, with the legs of Exodia and the body of Exodia. We will see if either Grunt or Mighty Duck have an answer to this. Maybe if Grunt finds the techies to upgrade his mechs. Maybe if Mighty Duck gets something. I don't know. Mighty Duck just doesn't have an answer, in my opinion. But we will see, as again, Mighty Duck will be fighting an uphill battle here. Ravage does connect, but Ravage is also on the side of Mighty Duck. He will get the double Ravage off, takes down the Alchemist for quite some time. The punch will go down before anything happens. Acid Spray will finally get dropped, but the Acid Spray took so long. The Disruptor's still standing. Another Static Storm comes out. That's the second one. Troll Warlord. Oh, sorry, no Troll Warlord. That's an Arc Warden flying through the air. The Lone Druid gonna try and do some damage, but the Bear's already dead. Necrophos trying to do some damage. Doom comes out. Disruptor ult again, the third one. Gonna clear out the last of Arc Warden. And that was only a clone. Meanwhile, Grunt versus Mighty Duck is still going. And it looks like Grunt will be losing his Aegis as Mighty Duck beats him. Which is quite surprising, as Grunt, I believe, beat Mighty Duck. So that's quite surprising. But yes, we get a time to breathe as both well everyone is in a neutral round, and again, Snowf has two. He has a duopoly. Again, as I refer to the two aces as duopoly. He has a Snowf has a duopoly. Meanwhile, Mighty Duck has two Arc Wardens to his name, I guess, as his main damage output. We will see how that will function. He did beat Grunt, so you know we can't really judge that. Meanwhile, Grunt did get a Techies. The real question is, what does he replace for the Techies? Will it be the Timbersaw? I mean, that'll be a solid replacement for the Timbersaw. But of course, I'm sure he's thinking in his head, if I replace Timbersaw, that'll be less explosion damage. But if my units do explode, they will just chain react. But then again, is that ace even worth it? Is that ace strong? Is that ace just as good? He actually does sell the Alchemist and the I don't even know what the other one he sold. He sold the other Timbersaw. He sold the other Timbersaw just to put down the Tinker and the Alchemist. He does have the 30% explosion for Inventors. We will see if that will be enough. Meanwhile, again, Snowf with a duopoly. Hey, we'll be fighting against Snowf. Again, with the two aces versus one here. Will the one Techie's ace be enough? He actually gets hexed. The Techies doesn't get his bomb off. He is gonna try and get his bomb off. Someone gets doomed. That was Quap that got doomed. The bomb actually gonna land, but it's so far away from most of the units of Snowf, and it's not gonna be enough. The bullet gonna land in the last 3 units on the back line. The Clockwork gonna try and do some damage, but it's not enough. The zombie's gonna come out, but it's not. As Snowf will just clean out Grunt. That'll be the end of that. So it looks like Grunt will be coming out third place, but you know, that's nothing to be sad about. Also, actually, Mighty Duck actually loses as well to Grunt, or was that Snow? Regardless, Snow actually completely wipes the board, and we will be seeing that grid layout post match. Here, shot on mission. Yep. Okay, and then we'll be leaving. And that's well, that's Group 2, Match 2.